So, hello. This today is Wednesday, 25th of March, 2020, which means we're in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm really hoping you're watching this years later and it's all over in the past and a bad memory and everybody's well again and all the rest of it. But I've been thinking of doing a tutor video for my song Virus that I wrote back in 1999 because of the topicality. Now, when I wrote it, I don't know whether I read the wrong information or quite what was going on. The internet wasn't really up and running much, and Google wasn't up. I don't think Google existed at that time. So I got a little bit of wrong information. I thought I was writing it from the point of view of a flu virus because I'm writing about a DNA virus. Apparently there are there are lots of different types of viruses, obviously, but there are RNA viruses and there are DNA viruses. And I'm writing this from the point of view of a DNA virus because it keeps going on about DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. So flu and the common cold and the coronaviruses are all, so I read now on Google, RNA viruses. So this song cannot be any of those singing. So if someone wants to tell me a good example of a DNA virus that is spread by sneezing and coughing, and mainly sneezing, that would be really good to know, because that will be the virus that's singing this song. Anyway, so it's quite an coming back to it again, it's quite bonkers really, this song, but in quite a nice way, I think. Well, I hope you'll think so. What I'm going to do, just to introduce the feel of the song, is just do the first verse and then I'll teach you the melody phrase by phrase, because the melody's a little bit tricky. I will be doing a separate video for the harmony part, which I envisage being mainly sung by tenors and basses, but if there are altos that just find the melody line too high, you might prefer to learn the harmony part too. This only goes up to a D, so E flat. So most altos shouldn't have any trouble with it, but I know some of my altos in my choir do have difficulty getting up there, so you might prefer to learn the harmony part, so look out for that separate video. So here's a little taster. Here's the first verse. I really like this song. It's quite funky, I think, anyway. I'm biased, maybe. Alright, goes like this. Oh, I missed the first bit. Let's start again. I'm playing it on iTunes and it wasn't right at the beginning. Here we go. Without you, I am nothing at all. I'm just a bundle of proteins, not even living until you take me into your body, let me into your cells. I'm not alive. You are my home, you are my route to life. You let me live in your cells where I can copy my deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, DNA. And then it goes on to verse 2. Now, one of the things I'm really proud of is that I've taught this song to hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, of kids over the 30 years since I wrote it. No, 20 years, 21 years since I wrote it. And I've had 5-year-olds singing deoxyribonucleic acid. They have no problem with that. So this idea that we have that, kids can't do long words and all the rest of it. Okay, they may not understand the meaning of it, or they can give them an idea of what it means, but they can certainly pronounce it. After all, they pronounce all those difficult dinosaur names that I can't say. So don't worry about that. They'll get deoxyribonucleic acid in no time at all. You just break it up and teach it bit by bit, and then they have it. No problem. Anyway, I bet more adults have trouble with it. Let's do it. Okay. Deoxyribonucleic acid. All right, copy me. Deoxyribo, deoxyribonucleic acid. With me, deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a great term. I love it. It's got a lovely rhythm to it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go through verse 1, phrase by phrase, so you can get an idea of how that melody goes. I won't be playing the proper accompaniment, which is, I can't play it and sing it at the same time as it's going all over the keyboard. And it kind of doesn't, I mean, I shouldn't say this, but when I play it, I don't get all the right notes, but it kind of doesn't matter. It's supposed to be a bit crashy and pretty dissonant. So I don't worry too much about that. Don't tell anybody. That's between you and me. All right, here we go. Here's the melody, and it goes. Without you, I am nothing at all. I'm just a bundle of proteins, not even living. Let's do that first phrase. Ready? 3, 4, 1. Without you, I am nothing at all. I'm just a bundle of proteins, not even living. Second phrase. Until you take me into your body, let me into your cells are not alive. From bar 9, until you. 3, 4, 1. Until you take me into your body, let me into your cells are not alive. Let's do those first two phrases from bar 5 up to the beginning of bar 13. 3, 4. Without you, I am nothing at all. I'm just a bundle of proteins, not even living. Until you take me into your body, let me into your cells are not alive. Then it goes on with, you are my home, you are my route to life. I'm just going to do just that line. If you want to listen to it once more and then copy it. You are my home, you are my route to life. Just listen to it on the piano. It's quite a tricky line. And now try singing it with me. 3, 4. You are my home, you are my route to life. And again. You are my home, you are my route to life. And then the next line is a kind of more complicated version of the same melody. It goes, you let me live you let me live in your cells where I can copy my. I know it's an odd place to stop on the word my, but I think it's easier musically. You let me live in your cells where I can copy my. 3, 4. You let me live in your cells where I can copy my. Let's do those two lines from bar 13. You are my home. 3, 4. You are my home, you are my route to life. You let me live in your cells where I can copy my deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So that's fairly easy, I think. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Then same thing again. And just slightly different at the end there. Okay, let's try those from bar 17, deoxyribo. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Let's try that together. And deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. And then you go DNA. 1, 2, 3, 4. DNA. And if you can work out how to do DNA, I can't do it, but it'd be quite funny. All the arms, you know, like YMCA, but do DNA instead. I have had performances where people have done that, which I think is quite fun, really. Anyway, so let's do the whole of that second half of the verse. You are my home from bar 13. 2, 3, 4. You are my home, you are my route to life. You let me live in your cells where I can copy my deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA. DNA. Okay, as you can see, there's a kind of jazzy feeling about this accompaniment. It doesn't really come out in the accompaniment that I've notated with it, but what's quite fun is to play along with the written accompaniment and sort of jazz it up a bit as well. The two go together quite nicely. Anyway, right, so let's do the whole of that first verse from the beginning. I'll try and get iTunes back to the beginning for you, and here we go. Without you, I am nothing at all. I'm just a bundle of proteins, not even living until you take me into your body, let me into your cells. I'm not alive. You are my home, you are my route to life. You let me live in your cells where I can copy my deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, DNA, and I'll go on. When I was sneezed out of somebody's nose, I was a bundle of proteins, not even living. Then you breathed me right into your body, let me into your cells. Now I'm alive. Your body cells take orders from your genes, but now they're learning to make perfect copies of my deoxyribonucleic acid. My deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, DNA. Before you there was just one of me. I was a bundle of proteins, not even living. Then you donated me the use of your cells so I could multiply thousands of times. You wrap my babies up in nasal slime. You sneeze them out into the air, spreading copies of my deoxyribonucleic acid. My deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, DNA. Final section. I want to thank you for all that you've done. It's been a bundle of fun. You've done your utmost to help me spread my DNA all around. Now please, please will you sneeze me out? I want a new host. Achoo! How do you do? Achoo! How do you do? Achoo! How do you do? And that's how it ends. You do this stupid kind of thing. At the moment, this is the last thing you would do on stage, but then no one's performing on stage, so it doesn't happen. But the idea is you're showing how a virus gets spread, so you cough into your hand, you sneeze into your hand, then you shake hands with your neighbour and it gets passed around. And we have done it where it kind of starts on one end of the chorus and then they pass it on to the other end of the chorus, and at the very end everyone just ends up coughing and spluttering and all the rest of it. So that you can do that. That's not notated into the music. You can just do that any old how you like. Some people might find a better way of doing that. Okay, so there were some subtleties in the rhythms of the other two verses. I don't think I'm going to go over those, or else this video is going to go on for way too long. We're already up to nearly a quarter of an hour. There will be a tutor track as well, which I'll try and make sure is really accurate. That's always a challenge. And then so you can try and pick up the subtleties of the rhythms. But that's the song Virus. It contains my favourite lyric that I've ever written, my favourite line. that one about you wrapped my babies up in nasal slime. I think it's exquisite. Just makes me very happy. You wrapped my babies up in nasal slime. It goes on. You sneeze them out into the air, spreading copies of my deoxyribonucleic acid. I think I had a moment of genius when I wrote those lines. And it's especially fun in rehearsals when you're saying to people, and I have found myself saying this without thinking about it, because you kind of forget about the lyrics having any meaning. They're just words, they're just a place to go from. And I've said, can we go from nasal slime, please? And like you get this look. It's like another of my songs is called Don't Ask That Question. And this has happened more than once where people have said, what song are we doing next? And I say, don't ask that question. And they're like, why? Why can't I ask that question? And it's just a title. I'm not thinking about the meaning of it. It's really can be quite funny, especially with the sort of lyrics I write sometimes. Okay, so that's a quickish introduction to my song Virus, which is kind of topical at the moment. All right, thank you very much for watching and listening, and I don't know, let me know what you think.